All right, that says we're live. Good morning, everyone. Well, at least it's morning here in Denver. Um, and you guys are probably used to this. We do a live video subsequent to our blog post going out, and I'm sure a number of you received it overnight. I think I got mine at about 4 in the morning this morning or somewhere in that general neighborhood. Don't ask me why I know that. And we tend to kind of steer away from mortgage and real estate related posts in our blog. We just, the content just isn't very exciting, right? It isn't um, hot topic type of stuff. We really liked, the greatest charities that need help year round and the best places to have brunch across the country. But this is definitely a departure from that for us. This is basically the Q1 of 2022 housing market update. And I'm not going to get up on a soapbox and pontificate like I'm an economist. Don't let my name fool you. But I certainly have my opinions based on what I see, what I know, a lengthy history of doing mortgages, being in the finance world, being a homeowner myself. We own a number of pieces of real estate for investment purposes as well. And we've kind of broken this down not only to what home prices did across the US, but including what they had done in the Northeast, the West, the Midwest, the South. We talk some about mortgage rates and some of the, how do I put this? Some of the content I don't necessarily agree with. And I don't think that we're, well, Jen and I share differing views, although I'm a homeowner, Jen's a home buyer. So there's a little bit of conflict there. And I certainly welcome all of you to make comments, give me your opinion on what you think is happening or is going to happen. And based on what I know, what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've read, I think the housing market is pretty solid. We've got a legitimate supply and demand issue going on that we're not going to solve overnight, and we're not going to have things coming down the pipe or have had come down the pipe that are going to really make an impact on that. We just don't have enough housing. There are a number of things I think historically and currently that cause that. Um, from a cultural standpoint, we all want our own space. We don't really do multi-generational living like they do in much of Asia and Europe. That's certainly part of it. We all feel that we need our own space. I think a big part of it right now is the older, large surviving generation, the baby boomer generation. They live longer, they're healthier, they stay in their homes longer because they're healthier. There isn't that inventory recycling through the housing market. Well, we tried a plague that didn't really curb the supply and demand issue. So we've got a lot of things that are leading up to and immediately causing the supply and demand issue, which it could take decades to solve. I don't think we're going to see 20% appreciation on real estate year after year after year, but even 10 would be ridiculous in the grand scheme of, the history of housing. And we may very well not come down to 10% year over year appreciation for some time. The mortgages are a different animal, and we do kind of have a perfect storm going on there with inflation, with what the Fed does. Please do understand that the Fed does not control mortgage rates. The Fed deals in short-term rates. Mortgages are obviously very long-term. Both have an impact on the global economy, and the global economy has an impact on both. Let's put it that way. It's a two-way street. However, mortgage rates are dictated by the mortgage-backed securities market. That's really all that it is. It's a free market, like the stock market, commodities, other securities, so on and so forth. So it's really an investment platform, and that's how mortgage rates ebb and flow and change. The talking heads in my industry that do know what they're talking about, again, I'm not going to pontificate that I'm an economist by any stretch, but I do listen to the people worth listening to. I do read the writings of the people worth reading, etc. And if we look at the historic data, unemployment, what the Fed is doing, inflation, so on and so forth, we're not that far and probably gaining faster ground towards our next recession. Now, that's really a big deal because that will drive mortgage rates back down, and yet still isn't going to be likely going to be a big enough impact to really hit any kind of housing. There just really isn't anything that can go beyond scratching the surface of that supply and demand issue. So go read our blog post, go take my opinion with a grain of salt, whatever the case may be. But that's basically our opinion this time around. I do think it was valuable information to get a blog post out that was directly related to housing and to mortgages, despite the fact that that's not our usual MO. So certainly feel free to ask any questions if you have commentary, if you have inquiries, make them publicly here. Certainly don't hesitate to reach out to me privately. I don't mind that either. I feel very confidently that an educated population is a successful population, so we're certainly happy to share what information we do have. If you want to know more about us, our website's on the left side of your screen. Our text code is at the bottom. You can text CORE to 63566 and it'll ping you back all kinds of stuff about us. Otherwise, that's really about it. Going to be a spectacular warm day in Denver, probably the warmest of the year so far. Hope you guys are all doing great. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Going on 7 minutes here. That is offensive for a live video. I apologize. Hopefully you guys have the tolerance for that. And I promise I'll keep it brief next time. Bye.